Hello everyone, welcome to the Rhodes weekly webinars. We're going to be discussing PIM contacts and alerts today and how to use them. Our first step is to generate an application. We'll just call this one PIM alerts. Actually, I forgot to put app in here, so we'll say erosion app PIM alerts. We'll go to that, and we'll just create a blank model. We're going to generate a model to use the contact list. Because we're going to be replacing everything with the real contacts, we just need to give it a stub name that we're going to change the functionality of when we go and implement that. So actually we'll say erosion model person name, and then we'll open this up with our text editor. So the first thing you need to do to build and use the PIM alerts is change the build.yaml. What you do is you add a capabilities section and enable the PIM alerts there. So we'll put capabilities. PIM. And we'll save that. So what the PIM alerts does is it allows you to get the contact list from the phone, and you can display, edit, create new ones, and it gets stored on the phone's contact list. So we'll go to our model here, to our controller. Right now it's doing person find all. Since we're going to be replacing that, we're going to change this from person to the row contact model. So this will be row contact, and then we'll just render. So we'll save that. Go back to our index ERB file. Now the format of the PIM contacts comes back a little bit differently than your ROM object. In the future, we're going to be making it so that all you have to do is change in your controller to what we just did, and it would work with the generated classes. But currently, that's not the case. So what we're going to do is change this here. So this is going to be object 1, and we'll use the first name. And it'll be show, and the ID will be object 1 dot ID. Oh, sorry, it's not dot ID, it is object 1 ID. So first name here, we'll take a look at our page here. On all devices, it supports the following attributes. There's ID, first name, last name, mobile number, home number, business number, email address, and company name. And that's what is supported on all devices that Rhodes supports. On iPhone, you have an additional set of properties that is stored. And you can see the list here is rather large, so I'm not going to say everyone. You can take a look at the Roads Device Capabilities page to see all of the attributes available. So going back to this, we have it displaying the link to the ID and the first name. So we'll go back to our person controller. The next method we need to change here is our show. So this one says person find params ID. We're going to change this person again from person to row contact and save that. Now we're going to open up our show ERB, and we're going to have to modify the show ERB to match our format here as well. So the ones that we want to show here are, we'll show first name, last name, mobile number, and home number. So let's take a look here. This is all going to have that person. So instead of person.name, it's going to be, let's see, it's going to be person first name. That is correct. On, let's see, where else do we have it here? Okay. The edit, we have to change this as well. So this is person ID. So name, we will give it the person's first name. And so we'll copy these here a couple times to add the other attributes to be displayed. We'll call this one first name, last name, mobile number, and we'll do home number as well. So we'll save that. So let's launch this with iPhone and see what this is looking like. So we'll just do run iPhone and it'll build and launch here. We'll go to iPhone and it crashed. So now that we've fixed that issue, we'll launch our application, and sure enough, that was the problem and it loaded. So we go to our contacts, uninitialized constant row contact. So what we forgot to do is add a couple of requires. Go back to our TextMate, go back to our controller. We have to require row contact. in our controller to use the contact list. So we'll add our row contact require here. Save that and relaunch our application. Open our contacts. Our contacts disappeared because we reset the thing, so we'll add some contacts here. Okay, now we have two contacts on our device. We'll go back to our roads application. Open up contacts and you see we have Brian and Lars. If we select one of these, and you can see it shows the mobile numbers from the contact lists that we just added. So that's how you read from the contact list, but you can also write and create here. So what we're going to do is change our new action so we can add a device contact from the phone, or from our roads application rather, into the phone's device contacts. So in the new function, we don't need to have person.new because we're not using ROM objects. We'll save that. We'll go to our new ERB here. So we'll just let it add a first name, a last name, and a mobile number for our application. So we'll make 3 input fields. Call this first name, last name. Change our placeholder values as well. Change these to have first name and last name. So I guess this should be first name as well. This should be last name. And this one will be mobile number. And we don't need this field here for ID because an ID will be created for us. So that's all saved. We'll go back to our controller and we have to change our create method. We'll take these here and instead of save, we'll have this to be row contact dot create, and then we'll pass it in our param as person. save that. So this takes the hash parameters of the properties you can set for a contact, and then we'll create a new contact based on those parameters. So what we did was in our new, oops, I just closed that. In our new ERB, the hash is going to be person with first name, last name, and mobile number. And then we'll create a new contact. So we'll reload our application in the iPhone simulator. Go to our contacts list here. Undefined method title. So that's in our render here. So that's likely in our ERB file. Person.title. We don't have a person object. We'll say new contact and run that again. Contacts, new. And we'll add a contact here. And then select create. So in our list here, it shows that we have John created, and it shows our mobile number. So now we'll exit out of our roads application and go to contact on our native device. So open up our contacts. We see there has been a John Doe added with the mobile number that we supplied. So this is showing how you can create a new contact. For edit, we can do the same. We'll go back to our application here. Go back to our controller. Edit is the same thing. We're going to change person to row contact. Open our edit ERB. We'll change these here. And we'll set these up as well. Just add our 3 fields for us to edit. We'll have first name, last name, and mobile again. Save that. So we added, it was the person's first name, last name, and mobile fields with their ID here. And it will submit to our update action, so we need to make sure our update action has the correct settings to use PIM contacts. So we'll once again remove those lines here, and we will add row contact dot update attributes, and we'll pass in the hash. While we're at it here, we'll make our destroy method here, and this will have row contact destroy params ID. Save that. We'll make sure our links here have the correct links. So these are still showing person.object. So we're going to have the correct IDs here as well. So we've saved those, and now let's view how that works. Go to our contacts. We'll edit this person. We'll make his phone number like so. Select update. Can't convert nil to string. So that means we have an error here somewhere. So let's take a look. And it's happening here in row contacts. So we'll go back to our controller. Make sure our edit form is correct. Okay, where is our edit form? So we're saying person's first name. We missed putting the ID in. So our field here is ID. What it needs to be is the hash ID. So we need to change that to person ID instead of just ID. So now that's saved, we'll go ahead and run this. Our results should be much better this time. We'll edit John one more time. Change his phone number and update. And if we take a look here, it shows that it has been updated here. And if we exit out of our application and look at our contact list, John Doe has been updated in the device's contact list. We can go back, and now we're done with John. We're going to go ahead and delete him. Goodbye, John. Go back to our contact list. There's no more John here. So we're going to take a short 5-minute break. Our next topic is going to be alerts and how to use the alerts and vibration fields and pop-ups. And we'll do that in 5 minutes. We're going to continue now with showing you how to do alerts. We'll go back to our text editor. First thing we have to change is our build YAML. We need to add more capabilities here. Vibrate as well. Save that. Going to add, so we're going to add another controller. So we'll use Rogen. Model, and we'll just call this one alerts and give it a placeholder value. Go back to our editor here. So we're going to simplify this greatly for this example. So we're going to remove all of these extra ERB files. In our controller, we get to remove all of these extra methods, since we don't need those to show alerts. Save that. And in our main index ERB, we're going to change this to have it look like our first index page. So we're just going to copy this content here and put this here, because it's going to be very simple content. We'll go to our index CRB and make sure we have a link to that. Alerts. Save that. This one, we'll just set a title index, and then our title here will just be title. So what we're going to do is we'll add some methods to demonstrate the various alerts and pop-ups you can do. So first we're going to do the basic show pop-up. We're going to have title pop-up, and we're just going to say alert show pop-up, then on. Give it a message for our pop-up and redirect it to our next page. So this is the simplest way of using the pop-up. You just give it a single string and it will load that pop-up.